This event of your saints now to read the people of men. Wisdom, let us attend. Yerma Jami Baraku Allah, Arrabu min ya Nabi Israel. In the congregation, bless ye God the Lord, from the brings of Israel.
Save us, O Son of God, who art risen from the dead, as we sing to thee, Alleluia.
لتفرح السماويات وتبتهج الأرضيات لأن الرب صنع عزا في سعيده وواتي الموت بالموت وصار ذكرى الأموات وانقذنا من جوف الجحيم ومن أهلنا الرحمة العظمى as the rock captives
And defender of the poor, healer of the infirm, champion of kings, victorious great martyr George, intercede with Christ our God for soul salvation.
ولي أن كنت نزلت إلى القبر يا من لا يموت إلا أنك درست قوة الجحيم وكنت غالبا أيها المسيح إلى وللنسوى إلى تيتي كنت فرحنا ولرسولك وحتى السلام يا مانينا الكائي وكائنا كيا. Let us pray to the Lord.
Lord, have mercy.
Glory at the Lord God, things good glory to the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, now and ever, and unto the ages of all ages. Holy mighty, holy immortal one.
Have mercy on us, have mercy upon us.
Holy God, holy mighty, holy immortal one.
Have mercy on us, have mercy upon us.
Holy God, holy mighty, holy immortal one.
Have mercy
many came down to also the saints that lived in Lydia. And he found a man named Ananias, who had been bedridden 8 years and was paralyzed. And Peter said to him, Ananias, Jesus Christ heals you. Rise and make up your bed. And immediately he rose, and all the residents of Lydia and Sharon saw him, and they turned to the Lord. Now there was a disciple named Tabitha, which means Dorcas. She was full of good works and acts of charity. In those days she fell sick and died, and they went and washed her and laid her in an upper room. Since Lydia was near Joppa, the disciples, hearing that Peter was there, sent 2 men entreating him, Please come to us without delay. So Peter rose up and went to them, and when he had come, they took him to the upper room, and all the windows stood beside him, weeping and showering tunics and garments which Dorcas had made while she was with them. But Peter put them aside and knelt down and prayed. Turning to the body, he said, Tabitha, rise. And she opened her eyes, and when she saw Peter, she sat up, and he prayed for his hand and lifted her up. Then calling of the saints and the widows, he presented her alive, and it became known throughout Joppa, and many believed in the Lord.
سبحوا لإلهنا سبحوا. صفقوا بالأكف يا كل الشعوب.
الحكمة.
فصل من أعمال الرسل القديسين. في تلك الأيام حدث أن بطرس وهو يجتاز بالجميع نزل أيضا إلى القديسين الساكنين في لدة، فوجد هناك إنسانا اسمه إنياس مضطجعا على سرير منذ 8 سنين، وكان مفلوجا. فقال له بطرس: يا إنياس، يشفيك يسوع المسيح، قم وافرش لنفسك. فقام للوقت ورآه جميع الساكنين في لدة وسارون الذين رجعوا إلى الرب. وكان في يافا تلميذة اسمها طابيثا الذي ترجمته غزالة. هذه كانت ممتلئة أعمالا صالحة وإحسانات كانت تعملها. وحدث في تلك الأيام أنها مرضت وماتت، فغسلوها ووضعوها في علية. وإذ كانت لدة قريبة من يافا وسمع التلاميذ أن بطرس فيها، أرسلوا رجلين يطلبان إليه أن لا يتوانى عن أن يجتاز إليهم. فقام بطرس وجاء معهما، فلما وصل صعدوا به إلى العلية، فوقفت لديه جميع الأرامل يبكين ويرين أقمصة وثيابا مما كانت تعمل غزالة وهي معهن. فأخرج بطرس الجميع خارجا وجثى على ركبتيه وصلى، ثم التفت إلى الجسد وقال: يا طابيثا قومي. ففتحت عينيها، ولما أبصرت بطرس جلست، فناولها يده وأقامها، ثم نادى القديسين والأرامل وأحضرها حية. فصار ذلك معلوما في يافا كلها، فآمن كثيرون بالرب، ومكث أياما كثيرة في يافا عند سمعان رجل دباب. هللويا هللويا هللويا.
Деяния святых апостолов чтения. Случилось, что Петр, обходя всех, пришел к святым, живущим в Лидде. Там нашел он одного человека именем Энея, который 8 уже лет лежал в постели в расслаблении. Петр сказал ему: Эней, исцеляет тебя Иисус Христос, встань с постели твоей. И тот тотчас встал. И видели его все живущие в Лидде и Сароне, которые обратились к Господу. В Иопии находилась одна ученица именем Тавифа, что означает «серна». Она была исполнена добрых дел и творила много милостей. Случилось в те дни, что она занемогла и умерла. Ее омыли и положили в горнице. А как Лида была близ Иопии, то ученики, услышав, что Петр находится там, послали к нему 2 человек просить, чтобы он не замедлил прийти к ним. Петр встал, пошел с ними, и когда он прибыл, вели его в горницу, и все вдовицы со слезами предстали перед ним, показывая рубашки и платья, какие делала Серна, живя с ними. Петр вызвал всех вон и, преклонив колени, помолился и, обратившись к нему, сказал: «Тавифа, встань!» И она открыла глаза свои и, увидев Петра, села. Он, подав ей руку, поднял ее и, призвав святых и вдовиц, поставил ее перед ними живую. Это сделалось известным по всей Иопии, и многие уверовали в Господа.
مجد وتعرفوا. وكان هناك إنسان به مرض منذ 38 سنة. هذا رآه يسوع متجئا وعلم أن له زمان كثير، فقال له: أتريد أن تبرأ؟ أجاب المريض: يا سيد، ليس لإنسان يلقي في البركة ما تتحرك الماء، بل بينما أنا آت ينزل قدامي آخر. قال له يسوع: أحمل سريرك وامشي. فعاد برئ الإنسان وحمل سريره ومشى. ما كان في ذلك اليوم سبت، فقال اليهود الذي شفي: إنه سبت، لا يحل لك أن تحمل سريرك. أجابوا: إن الذي أبرمني هو قال لي: أحمل سريرك وامشي. فسألوه: من هو الإنسان الذي قال لك أحمل سريرك وامشي؟ أما الذي شفي فلم يكن يعلم من هو، لأن يسوع اعتزل إذ كان في الموضع شمع. بعد ذلك وجده يسوع في الهيكل وقال له: أنت قد مرضت، فلا تفطر أيضا لئلا يكون لك الشر. فمضى الإنسان وأخبر اليهود أن يسوع هو الذي أبرأه. grace of those gods. May the Lord God remember his keeping always now and ever. And unto the angels, all angels, most reverend Lord Joseph Gracious, may the Lord God remember his keeping always now and ever. And unto the angels, all angels. And our causes to be those in harm's way everywhere. May the Lord God remember this keep always now and ever. And unto the angels. Orthodox Church of God, have mercy, life, peace, health, salvation, visitation, pardon, forgive the sins. So Deacon Charles, Patrick, Neville, George, Mark, Michael, Andrew, Kevin, Jason, Sophie, Angelo, Nicola, Miriam, Ala, Maureen, Erika, Aula, Anthony, Isaac, Jacob, Johnny, Sharif, Olga, Michael, Eric, Constantine, Nadezhda, Alexei, Nikolai, Tatiana, Ashley, Dougie, Jamie, John, Leanne, Monks, James, and Augustine, Caesar, Lily, Justine, Tatiana, Augustus, Janice, Hebe, Mad, Mansour, Liz, Alta, Ayani, Mad, Sihan, Rubina, Chris, Mirna, Suzanne, Rose, Jean, Vicky, Kim, Elias, Jessica, Samantha, Chris, Daniel, Gabby, Merchant, Mary, Isabel, Julia, Edward, Cheyenne, James, Mary, Bill, Teresa, Rebecca, Rachel, Sharon, Kay, Marie Antoinette, Elizabeth, Clinton, Alexandria, Susan, Ruthann, Suzanne, Lenore, Larry, Marina, Alexandra, Alexander, Marie, Carolyn, Kevchuk, Evgeny, Marsha, Aunt Audrey, Andrew, April, Antonella, Alex, Arthur, Theodore, all others of war in Syria, all homeless in New faithful to St. George Orthodox Church. May the Lord God remember them in his kingdom always now and ever. And unto the angels. Metropolitan Philip, Archbishop Michael, Bishop Anton, Archbishop Bordeaux, Archbishop Robert Peter Dean, Prince Alexander, Randy, Josephine, Henriette, Suki, Georgi, Mary Constantine, Radima, Pia, Nonna Maria, Nice to Billy, Natano, Dorothy, Kennedy, Lysia, Nazarene, Elias, Rosette, Shaheen, Tony, John, Virginia, Paul, myself, Bella, Lorraine, Hilda, Kyriakos, Anastasia, Casey, Adim, John, Fatima, Ramanas, Edgar Douglas, and all departed ones in the Orthodox Church. May the Lord God remember His kingdom, always now and ever, and unto the ages of all ages. I will love the Lord my strength. The Lord my firm foundation, my refuge and my deliverer. I will love the Lord my strength. The Lord my firm foundation, my refuge and my deliverer. I will love the Lord my strength. The Lord my firm foundation, my refuge and my deliverer. The Lord, in wisdom. I believe in one God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, and of all things visible and invisible. And through the Lord Jesus Christ, the Son of God, the only begotten, begotten of the Father before all worlds, light of light, very God and very God, begotten, made, of one essence with the Father, and of all things were made, who for us men, for our salvation, came down from heaven, and was incarnate in the Holy Spirit, and the Virgin Mary, and was made man, and was crucified also for us in the Pontius Pilate, and suffered and was buried. And the third day he rose again according to Scripture, and ascended into heaven, and sits at the right hand of the Father, and he shall come again in glory to judge the quick and the dead, whose kingdom shall have no end. And I speak the Holy Spirit, the Lord and giver of life, who proceeds from the Father, with the Father and the Son together is worshipped and glorified, who is formed by the prophets. And I believe in one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. I acknowledge all baptisms for the remission of sins. I believe the resurrection of the dead, and the life of the world to come. Amen. Let us stand right. Let us stand with fear. Let us attend, that we may offer the holy oblation in peace. Grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, and the love of God the Father, and the communion of the Holy Spirit be with you all. Let us lift up our hearts. Let us give thanks unto the Lord. الذي يرجو عنكم وعن كثيرين لمغفرة الخطايا. Drink your of this. This is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for you and for many. Oh, the remission of sins. Again, we offer thee the spirit of Christ, and beseech and pray and supplicate. Send down the Holy Spirit upon us, upon this gifts of your Spirit, and make this bread the precious body of thy Christ.
Amen.
And that which is this cup, the precious blood of thy Christ.
Amen.
Changing them by the Holy Spirit.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Looking as these men are, I thought you might want to get more watching these pretty girls electing your vocals to the church. Did not listen.
talking about this God, the Holy Ghost of love, especially St. Patrick, the Peter Bar, Jesus is full of love. Our God's gift and the rest of the name. Our love is love and community of the world. No one so great as the Lord like this of the gift of the Lord. We monitor the Lord, the Lord is the Lord of the rest of his life. These are the lives of the Lord that is on the good. Our future fight. Our future Lord is the love. Perfect peace and great peace of them. When Joseph came on the edge of the week, what he married was that he was he had yes, not one my yes, I had he had down the door and man. He had that's the thing and yes, only God is giving all myself. Let us have faith. He built a he was and take the again, we receive the marvel of the picture of us, all the presbytery, again, Christ, every Michael life, and action for it. And again, Lord, we pray the Lord for the whole world, together, we're also the God and our Lord, who grant them for all the people that we teach their activities, may be a common peace of life, all reverence to God. Long as the word be mindful of all that is taught and joy, praise be to Jesus, God, for our good peace, honor, love, and thanks this day. Right, the word of thy God, so they shall receive their presence, and those, oh, they are remembered. Passion to be making with us and ourselves, each other. Grant the mouth and heart to glorify, bring on this the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, now and ever. Unto the ages of all ages. Mercy, Lord, great God and Savior Jesus Christ, be with you all.
To
believe, O Lord, and I confess that thou art truly Christ, the Son of God, and his coming to the world to save sinners like mine. I believe this is truly the Lamb of God, this is truly the precious blood. Wherefore I pray, have mercy upon me, and forgive my transgressions, both voluntary and involuntary, of word and deed, of knowledge and ignorance. May you be able to partake of that condemnation and our lives.
Lord, التي بمعرفة والتي بغير معرفة، وأهلني بغير دينونة، أن أتناول السلطة القاهرة وغفران الخطايا ولحياة أبدية. آمين.
Good morning.
Good morning.
If this is your first time at St. George, we welcome you. If you are a properly prepared Orthodox Christian, we ask that you please come forward with your arms folded across your chest to receive Holy Communion. All other Christians are invited to come forward with your hands clasped together, venerate the chalice, and receive the blessed word. Thank you.
With the fear of God, with faith, with love, go ye.
Blessed come in the name of the Lord. The Lord is God and hath revealed
اليوم شريكا أشعك سر يا ابن الله، لأني لست أقول سرك لأذائك ولو أعطيك قبلة غشة مثل يهوذا، لكن كالذي أعترف لك عاطفا. اذكرني يا رب، اذكرني يا مسيح الله، متى أتيت بملكوتك. the thief, will I confess thee. Remember me, O Lord. Remember me, O Lord, in thy kingdom. Oscornia, Masih ibn Allah, Meda'ate, Eita, Bimalakutika, O Lord, save thy people and bless thy inheritance.
Not only stand, you stand.
Blessed is our God, always now and ever in the age of ages. Let us worthily give thanks unto the Lord. And God, save us, have mercy on us, and keep us, O God, by thy grace. As we pass this whole day in perfect, holy, peaceful, and sinless, let us commend ourselves and our life unto Christ our God. Power of sanctification, life, glory, thanksgiving, and worship, all the Son of the Spirit, now and ever, and unto the ages of ages. Let us go forth in the name of the Lord. Pray to the Lord. O Lord, who blesses those who bless thee and sanctifies those who put their trust in thee. Save thy people and bless thy heritage, preserve the fullness of thy church, sanctify those who read of thy house. Glorify them in every blessed and thy power, and forsake us not who look on thee. Peace to thy world, and thy churches, the creeds to all civil parties, and all most of all thy people. For be good and perfect, and to welcome and down to the kingdom of all governments. Even God, the Lord, and worship. All
don't. This church has great expenses. I think there are people that just expect the church to always be here. I can tell you personally that for 46 years we have struggled to pay the bills as church, to do improvements in the church. We don't have a source of income except from our faithful, and used to be from our parking lot, but there's very little coming from the parking lot this time. So when I ask you to give a love offering, I know you have bills. I have bills. But hopefully our love for Jesus shows us that the Lord will take care of us and of our bills as well as His church. As this love offering is taken up, I don't see the ushers.
Father, they're dealing with the situation.
Jamie's very sick right now. Jamie is very sick right now.
Okay.
So I'll go take them.
Okay, we can have, how about you and Justine? I like ladies doing these things anyhow. So they're doing much more than cooking and cleaning. They do a lot. As this love offering is taken up, please take out one of the yellow laminated cards. Turn to the side where it says post-communion prayers. That we can all pray these prayers aloud together at this time.
Please stand for the post-communion prayer. Glory to thee, O God. Glory to thee, O God. Glory to thee, O God. I thank thee, O Lord my God, that thou hast not rejected me, a sinner, but hast counted me worthy to become a communicant of the holy mysteries. I thank thee that thou hast accounted me, the unworthy, worthy to partake of thy immaculate and heavenly gifts. But, O Master, and Mother of mankind, who did both die for us and rise again, and did bestow upon us these thy terrible and life-giving mysteries, for the benefiting and sanctification of our souls and bodies. Grant that they may be also unto the healing of soul and body, unto the averting of everything contrary, unto the enlightenment of my eyes and my heart, unto the peace of my spiritual powers, unto faith physical, unto love of fame, unto the fulfilling of wisdom, unto the keeping of thy commandments, unto growth of thy divine grace, and the attainment of thy kingdom. That by the observance of thy holiness I may ever remember thy grace, and henceforth live not unto myself, but unto thee, our Master and benefactor. And thus this life is ended in the hope of eternal life. I may attain unto everlasting rest, where the voice of those who keep festivals unceasing, and the delight of those who behold the ineffable beauty of thy countenance and boundless. For thou art the true desire and unutterable joy of those who love thee. O Christ our God, and all creation hymn thee forever. Amen. May thy holy body, Lord Jesus Christ our God, be unto me for life eternal, and thy precious blood for the remission of my sins. May this Eucharist be unto me for joy, health, and gladness, and that thy dread second coming may be a sinner worthy to stand at the right hand of thy glory, whose intercessions of thine all immaculate Mother and all thy saints. Glory to thee, O God. Glory to thee, O God. Glory to thee, O Christ, our God and our hope. Glory to thee. Amen.
This is the day the Lord has made.
Let it holy.
Please take out one of your Bibles, church's Bibles that are in the pew racks, and open up to page 922. The Gospel of the Lord as proclaimed by the Holy Evangelist St. John. 5th chapter, verse 3 reads, "In these lay a multitude of invalids, blind, lame, paralyzed, waiting for the moving of the water. بهذه كان متجيعا جمهر كثير من مرضى وأميا وأرجل وأسمن يتوقعون تحقيق الماء." Christ is risen from the dead, trampling down death by death. The Holy Bible tells us that this man was waiting for divine help and intervention. His waiting for the moving of the water is a manifestation of his faith. We in the West are always in a hurry. In fact, if you noted, I don't know if you took notice, but there was more of a pause between the ending of the post-communion prayers of Thanksgiving and my coming out, because I was finishing the Holy Communion. But we have a problem that we have to constantly be entertained. America is not a country that appreciates silence. Silence. One of the things that I admired about the Roman Church was that after the people took communion, there was a silent period to think about it. We have an unwritten law, it seems, in the Orthodox Church or tradition, that thou shalt have no silence. Either the priest is saying something, or the choir is saying something, or the chant is saying something. There can be no silence. But I think that silence is a good thing. Because when we are silent, we begin to think. Now, we can either have bad thoughts or good thoughts coming in. But this man, for 38 years, now I want you to think about that. He knows, and obviously he couldn't get any closer to the pool of water, he knows that he is never going to get down there first. He waits for 38 years for something that is probably never going to happen. But he had that much faith in God, and his faith, his sitting there, his waiting is what moved Jesus. As Christ's people, we wait on the Lord. As I said to you a few moments ago, that it sometimes is a heavy burden trying to get things done in this church. Right now, for example, Lenora, God bless her, who is a major help in this church, is away for a couple of weeks. One woman is away, and 3 or 4 or 5 women had to come in to make up for what she does. But that's not the only thing. There are things that need to be repaired. I mean, it amazes me that people, I had this happen many years ago, and I've shared it with some of you before. I had come back from the Middle East. I was exhausted. I didn't have any time to sleep. I came right to church. It was jet lag and all that. And during the liturgy, I remember literally holding on to the Holy Altar for stability, because I was so, my visit, I was exhausted. And when we finished the Divine Liturgy, we went downstairs to have our coffee hour. We didn't have lunch in those days. And a man came up to me, Russian background, a very good man, loved him very much. And he said to me, "Father John," and he pointed out a problem with the exit door near the men's room. I said, "Yes." He goes, "What are you going to do about that?" Gabby, it took all that was left in me to restrain myself. I said, "What am I going to do about that?" "What are you going to do about that?" He said, "I did it." "I told you." Sometimes I feel like I'm a suggestion box. People come up and give me things that as if I don't know. There's hardly anything not right in this building that I don't know about. But we wait on the Lord and then we move. Some people keep waiting on the Lord and they never move. So we wait on the Lord, and St. George's ministry is this for 46 years. We wait on the Lord to move. We don't wait on the Lord to do nothing. I'm a person of action. That's why I'm Ethiopian. I'm not an Alexandrian. If you know anything about theology, or some of you have taken the St. Stephen's course, the Alexandrian school of theology was more contemplative, thinking about it, praying about it. Antiochian school was incarnational, do something, do something. So when things don't seem to be getting done, it's not because we don't know about it, it's not because we don't want to do it, it's because we're waiting for the Lord to touch someone, to move someone that does something, that comes forward and does something. We have many, many people, God bless them, we have a plethora of people that can tell me all that's wrong with St. George's, but very few people that will assist in making some things right here at St. George's. It goes on and says in verse 6, Jesus saw him and knew that he had been lying there a long time. He said to him, do you want to be healed? حَذَرَأَهُ يَسُوءُ مُتَجِيًا وَعَلِّمَ إِنَّ لَهُ زَمَانًا كَثِيرًا فَقَالَ لَهُ أَتُرِيدُ أَن تَبْرَأَ. It's an obvious question. But did the man realize the depth of the obvious answer? Note here, Jesus says, do you want to be healed? The paralytic didn't answer the question. Did you ever notice that? He didn't answer the question. He starts with a litany of complaints. I've been here all this time, and when I get ready to move down, somebody goes before me. He never answers the question. Jesus asked him simply, do you want to be healed? It might seem like a silly question. Of course you think the man wanted to be healed. But while the man doesn't understand the depth of the question, he surely does not understand the depth of the answer. How many of you have bought a car in the last 5 years? Put your hands up high. And you're making payments on it. You all paid off? Making payments?
Before 5 years, still making payments.
How many of you think you own a house? Okay, how many of you know the bank owns the house until you pay it off? So when you bought that house, did you think about what it was going to take? But let me go back to car because we get so excited about a new car. When I see people with new cars, I think of one thing, payments. Payments. Somebody asked me many, many years ago, my friend, God bless him, do you remember Father Damien? I had this little car, I still have it. And he said, when are you going to get a new car? I said, why? When I want it to, it goes forward, it goes backward, it goes right, it goes left, it cools, and it heats. Why should I get a new car? Even the horn works. He said, aren't you tired of it? I said, I'm not tired of it going forward and backward and right and left and cooling. Because I didn't want payments. I don't like payments. How many of you charge things on a credit card? Put your hand up. Come on, that should be everybody. You don't charge things on a credit card? Come on, put up high. They got you. How many of you charge things on a credit card with the understanding that you're going to make payments on the balance? Sucker. Sucker. That's what they get you. They get you the interest payments, and God forbid you should pay it late. If the guillotine does not come, the penalty does come. When I buy something on my credit card, and I buy everything on my credit card, I have the money to pay for it. So when we buy something, do we realize what it's going to take to... When we came into this church, when we bought this church in 1977, I fully realized what it was going to take to make the payments. At that time, in those days, the payments were $1,600 a month. $1,600 a month. We bought the building behind the church. As soon as it was bought at an auction, as soon as that hammer went down, so I felt this heavy weight on my shoulders because I knew we were going to have to pay for that building. So when Jesus asked the question, do you want to be healed? And if Jesus asked any of you, do you want this or that, whatever it is that you want, you say yes, but do you realize the depth of your answer? Do you realize what it's going to cost you? You want this, you want that, are you ready to make the payments on it? Because when you ask a question, and I'm the type of person that when I ask a question, yes, I expect a real answer. So when you ask the question, are you ready to be healed? You understand the answer, yes, what it entails. There may be people, I can't think of anybody right now, but there may be people sitting here that are angry with somebody else sitting here. And if I went up to them, I said, and I picked them up by the arm, and I said, do you want to be at peace? Just at peace. And if they said yes, and I walked towards the person that's their adversary, I said, now make peace. Are you understanding what your answer is? It's not so obvious. Do you want to be healed? He wanted to be healed. But there was a price. In verse 14 it says, afterward Jesus found him in the temple and said to him, see, you are well. Sin no more, that nothing worse befall you. بعد ذلك وجده يسوع في الهيكل وقال له ها أنت قد مرضت فلا تخطئ أيضا لئلا يكون لك أشار. The paralytic's cure leads to his conversion into a righteous life. Sin quite often brings illness. She's not here so I can talk about her. But our dear friend Lenora, she had an episode a few weeks back, and she went to the hospital. And they told her, you need to quit smoking. She got scared. Do you remember this? She got really scared. She became the lollipop lady. She was sucking on more lollipops than you couldn't get into her fast enough. And then, I don't know what transpired, but I got the feeling that it wasn't only the lollipops she was putting in her mouth. So I said to her, Nora, are you smoking again? She goes, not as much, Paul. Our Baptist friends say that smoking is a sin. It's a sin because it brings a condition that is not healthy for you. So when you sin, you might not think of it as a sin, but sin brings illness quite often. Not always. Sometimes people are born with a condition, it's genetic, they can't help it, I understand that. But most of the problems we have in America today, as far as health is concerned, connects to sin. Even if anybody here ever had anybody, or God forbid you had, that you were in the hospital, that you got MRSA, or knew someone that got MRSA. You say, what's the sin? The sin is they're not cleaning the hospital properly. Remember, the word sin means to miss the mark. If you are in the janitorial department of the hospital and your aim is to keep the hospital clean and you don't do your job, you've missed the mark of what you were supposed to be doing. That is a sin. So sin quite often leads to illness. People that overeat, not just overeat. That's why they call it junk food, people, because it's junk. And we keep devouring it for the rationale because it tastes good. And look what it does to our bodies. I'm sorry, still going to say a little bit, but yesterday I was at Panera, and these two women were talking, and I have a habit of going up and talking to people, just chit-chat, and the woman said, well, you know, honey, when you get old, I said, yeah. Conversation continued. I said, well, how old are you, ma'am? She said, well, how old are you? I said, I'm 72. She said, well, I'm 72. I said, I'll be 73 next month. She goes, oh, you're older than me. My point I'm bringing out is this. If you don't take care of what you do, people that stay up late, how many of you, I don't know, I'm just asking a question, how many of you fall asleep watching television? Put your hand up a little higher. How many of you fall asleep, maybe those that are students, studying? Put your hand up. Just fall asleep, maybe reading something and you fall. I will tell you, personally speaking, I don't know for you, one of the things I absolutely detest, and I haven't done it in years, is falling asleep watching television. Because I wake up, my neck is hurting me, my body is aching. This is not the way to go to sleep. Get up and go to bed. So what I'm getting at is that the things that we do, we go out. Sorry to ask you, how many people in here in the last year, you might not want to put your hand up, got drunk? You know what, fellas, you know why I don't drink? Hardly ever. You know why? 2 reasons. First of all, it's fattening, and it is. Liquor is fattening. Secondly, I don't want to be in a position that I'm not in control of what I'm doing. I don't like to be in that position. I had 2 times in my life, I'll be honest with you, I got 2 times in my life where I got drunk. They were both in Jamaica. They were both around Christmas time. And one year I got drunk and I had a terrible hangover. The next year I went back to Jamaica, because we used to go every year. And I kept trying to remember something. I couldn't remember what it was. Something I was trying to remember, and I couldn't remember it. And these people that were staying with, they had a Christmas party. And of course, I always try not to gain weight. I decided that rather than having a single vodka, I'd have a double vodka. And then I figured, well, I'll be even more on if I have a double, so I had a triple vodka. Last thing I remember was being in the bathroom with my head over a particular part, something in the bathroom. And the next day I woke up and it was a tremendous clanging sound, something like the bells of Notre Dame. So loud. And I thought, oh my God, what is that? And I got out of the bed and I walked in. I saw that one of the people that worked the house, they were putting the clean silverware back into the holder. And each time the spoon or the fork or the knife hit, it was a clanging noise so loud because I had a hangover, which is what I was trying to remember not to have happen. My friends, do not divorce your sins from your calamity or your situation. Take charge of your life in Jesus Christ. Do you want to be healed? If you say yes, understand what it entails. Quite often, it's a change of lifestyle. In the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Let us pray to the Lord. Grace and love towards man, always, now and ever, and unto the age of ages. Glory to the Glory to the Father, to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit. Both now and ever, and to the ages of ages. Amen. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. Christ, our true God. This one back and break this sleep of the last power of the person I think for all, special martyrs power of heaven. Supplication, the glorious Purification, Lord's word is martyrs, St. George and Joe Rivera. Patron saint of the Holy Church, Java, God, break fathers, St. John Christian, whose divine celebrate for Joachim and St. Patrick, Henry Martyr, Bishop Bruce and his fellow martyrs, Acacius, Menander, and Polineus, our righteous father, Memnonus, the wonder worker, Theotima and Kidiakida martyrs. When we celebrate today, have mercy upon us, hear us, words, much as good of us, mankind.
Amen. Protect, O Lord, unto many years, in who blesses us and brings us by thy grace.
Christos voskres. Christos enviat. Christ is risen.
Truly he is risen.
Let us glorify his third day resurrection.
And the third day resurrection we glorify.
Christ is risen
From the dead, rising down by death, and on those in the tombs he bestowed life.
Please be seated. I'd like to thank Gabrielle and Richard for the very good altar bread that we had. And Susan, you make altar bread too. And someone else made it with you? Jean back. Please pray for Jean. Please pray for Jean Bass. She's going away. She'll be away. She'll be back June. June 2nd, so it should be on
No,
Sunday.
she'll be gone 2 Sundays, yeah.
She's going on a cruise, but not a regular cruise. She's taking the original type cruises from the United States to Great Britain. And she'll be going on a theater tour with us. So please pray for Jean that she'll be safe and sound and the Lord will bring her back. God bless you, Jean. Also, I'd like to thank Marcia Wilson, Olga, and the other ladies. I know that Marie Antoinette and Cherie had brought food today. We only have lunches because people bring food. If you don't bring food, then we just have some pastries if we're lucky. So I thank them for what they did. I especially thank Marcia because she came in early this morning to cook some of the meal. Our religion class online will be held this coming Wednesday, May 22nd from 6:30 to 7:10 p.m. Our Friday liturgy will this coming Friday, May 24th at 8 o'clock at the chapel of Mason. Our ladies, very important, the Ladies Guild and Amen's men's group work day at the church. Come on, people, we need to do some cleaning up around this church. Will be scheduled for Saturday, June 8th. June 8th. So don't say, oh, I didn't know. It's in the bulletin I sent you. June 8th. We need to be here about 9 o'clock in the morning to the men and the women will have different draws we'll be doing for the church. Our New Year church, if you have not, some of you hear me every week talking about membership offerings. Some people never give their membership offering, which makes it very difficult for us. So please, if you have to give any membership, or you don't even know what it is, at least come and ask me and I'll be happy to tell you about it. We have our discussion table downstairs here. We have two topics. First topic is when we ask God for something, what is motivating us? Need or faith? Our second topic is how does a person enter into a monastic life? This is a very current question because we are moving in that direction of having a monastic community here in Orlando. So those will be the two topics that we'll be discussing downstairs. Please, I know that a lot of you like to sit and talk with your friends, and that's good. But if you come over sometime during our discussion table to join us, I think you'll get a lot out of this. Please stand for the morning prayer. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, we thank you for this blessed day and blessed place in which to worship. Pray that you watch and protect us this day and always. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Please, we have this English content with the blessed bread.